Hello lab pals, how are you? As of making this video, I'm at 89 subscribers. I'm super excited. It's only been less than 2 years since I've started YouTube, and I still remember the time when I was only at like 10 subscribers, and it would take me like weeks and weeks before I got like 1 subscriber, and I'd be like, I've got one more lab pal, I've got another person joining me in this fun trip of making exciting desserts and experiments and sweets and stuff. And it's not a lot compared to a lot of like huge big like cake making like channels out there, but I still want to stay and do what I want to do, and this is like my way of recording all my recipes and my journey. And 100, I'm close to getting to 100 people, and thinking about 100 people standing in a room with you, if you think about it that way, that is a ridiculous amount of people. If I'm at work and the cafe fills up with about 45 people, or just a little bit more than that, it feels like a ridiculous amount of people, and it's overcrowding already. So, that's amazing. And I just want to take this chance to thank you guys for watching the videos and sharing the videos, and just even subscribing and kind of like telling me that you guys are enjoying the content. And of course I'll keep bringing as many interesting things that I can think of, just doing what I do, I guess, because that's probably why you're subscribed to me. And I just want you to know that I'm not taking it for granted, and I really want to try and produce better content every year, with better ideas and better production quality stuff, whatever. I might need to invest in lights at some point in case I have to, for whatever reason, film a bit more at night, and I don't really want to have no daylight and then like film in the dark, and it's just not worth it because it never looks really good. I really don't like it, and it's very hard to edit it out anyway. So that's enough of that. So basically, thank you so much, and I can't wait to reach 100. That was my goal for 2017, and it's only just past halfway, and I still have a lot of time, so it looks like we'll be able to make it. Yeah. So today is about Baumkuchen, or you could say Baumkuchen, because I'm not German. If you are, please let me know down there in the comments below exactly how to pronounce it, because a lot of people say it either way, and to be honest, I'm quite confused as well. I suppose I could just put it into Google and see what that says. But what fun is that? I just can't be bothered. So a little about the cake Baumkuchen, and also the little box on the opening clip of this video. So I actually got these things from a friend. Thanks, Mickey. If she sees this video, she is an amazing friend that I work with. Just recently went to Japan with a boyfriend, and she was kind enough to buy me, I was raving about like Baumkuchen, and she has to try it, and all these other things, and I guess she remembered that I mentioned that I used to eat Baumkuchen a lot, and I really there's no way to buy it here, and if anything I would have to order it online, which I haven't really looked around for. The only place I ever saw it in Sydney that I was willing to try and buy it or order it was from, I think the only place I came up was a Japanese like grocery that was actually selling it either online or at the place, but it was a limited time thing, and it was already sold out by the time I got into the page, and I don't even know how old that page was. But Baumkuchen is, it literally translates closest to tree ring cake, obviously alluding to the way it looks with the little layers of sponge around the spit, layers and layers and layers layered upon, and it's round with a hollow hole. So traditionally they are so basically like that, commercially often packaged in individual sort of slices. There's, I think, in more traditional European countries that still produce them, where they are more common in, they usually just slice them into bigger cakes where you can actually take the log home, like, how would you say, like a big donut basically kind of shape, and then usually you serve it at like the tea time, and then people would just like grab, cut a piece, dig in, something like that. That's kind of the vibe I got from seeing a video on YouTube talking and documenting about it, but give or take, that video was a bit old, so I don't know how they still do, whether they still do it that way today, which I would imagine why not, because they are usually produced huge. That's a huge size. So the way they usually do it is, you can find these videos even on YouTube. Just type in Baumkuchen and some of the videos will actually show you how a lot of places make them. So it's usually a machinery with like a log, kind of like a spit, like a giant rolling pin metal kind of spit or something like that. They usually, I guess, they have a tray of the cake batter that's really flat and laid out, and I guess they weigh it up, do whatever. There's like the flames behind, and it's basically an oven that you can shut the door for when you're trying to cook it, and then lift it up when you're using the spit of the pig. And so you usually use the lever, bring it down, and then it would spin and it would coat itself with a thin layer of the sponge batter, and then it would go back up after you put it in, close the door, cook it briefly until it's cooked through, because it's such a thin layer it won't take very long, and it kind of almost like caramelizes the surface as well. So that's why you get those kind of definitions of the rings in between. And then you would basically just keep repeating the process until you get this really thick, big log with like the tree rings through it. And then from there, they would basically take it off, cool it, and slice it into big logs. And then I think in more European countries generally, I don't think I've seen any Japanese ones. Japanese ones generally seem to go for the lighter flavors and probably just flavoring the actual baumkuchen. Whereas in the European countries, a lot of times it's quite vanilla, like regular flavor, and then they glaze it with chocolate or fondant glaze. So yeah, it's a really interesting pastry. It's really tasty, and I'm going to be trying some of it. And for me, when I was a kid, I should mention that I used to have this a lot, but I haven't had it in about 6 years because I haven't been back to Taiwan for a holiday with my family to see relatives and that kind of stuff. And when I used to go back, we used to buy it all the time, and it would be like a cake selection box, and they always included quite a few of these, and this was one of my favorites to eat, just because it was so fun to kind of like break into a piece and then kind of peel back and then kind of see like if you've got like a clean layer, and then you can go there and then keep doing that. You know, that kind of feeling like when you peel away like, I guess like certain foods where there's like layers and you can like eat the layer at a time. It's kind of those weird things that you do as a kid when you're playing with your food basically, but it's also like really delicious food. It just kind of adds to the nostalgia and brings back part of the memory. It makes part of the memory, I think, and the enjoyment of the food. So let's try it. So fragrance-wise, it's very light. It's got a very kind of a sweet, it's not eggy as well, which is really nice. It's slightly vanilla-y. It's really kind of creamy and almost like a bit more like it's like a nutty, milky kind of like gentle kind of fragrance rather than something like eggy and really vanilla-y. So it smells really nice because of that, and it almost has like that kind of faint kind of caramelization kind of flavor that you get from when it's like cooked with like open flame, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that's my mind doing any trick, but that's just like what I think it does. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, the layers do peel away really easily because of the way, I guess, they lay it up, but excuse me. But because they're also, I guess, caramelized individually and then laid on top. And flavor-wise, it's just a really nice kind of vanilla-y, super light sponge. Even though there's so many thin layers compacted upon each other, it does not taste heavy at all. It's just like super light, really easy to eat, and really nice flavor, and very gentle. It's just, you know, want a nice snack with a tea. I can imagine this going really well with like a cup of green tea, just a black tea with some milk. But I noticed this and Castella are very similar. They have very similar characteristics in the sense that it's one of those cakes where they're very light to start with, the more you chew on it, the more the flavor kind of slowly emanates and kind of develops in your mouth basically, and then just leaves you salivating and kind of thinking about it. And honestly, compared to a lot of those really rich cakes, this is the kind of cakes that would usually stay in your memory a lot longer and make you want to go back for it, because you can eat more of it and you won't get sick of it. At least that's what I think. Leave a comment down below as well. Let me know like what is something that you've like have not eaten for a long time but used to eat a lot when you were growing up for dessert wise that you're really feeling nostalgic about, and maybe I can look it up if I've never heard of it and make it. It'd be awesome. Okay, and the other thing was just, I guess it's very common in Asian countries to always find like these kind of in groceries and convenience stores little keychains or toy figurines, and this is basically I guess it's like toy figurines of like cakes and desserts with like little faces on it. That made it sound really creepy for some reason, but they're really adorable faces. I was looking at the different choices that you could possibly get, I think, and there's basically 8 altogether. The one I really want to get is like the little tray with like really delicately like shaped sculpted cakes. Looks like there's like a green tea and a cheesecake with like a strawberry shortcake and Mont Blanc. But the other ones are all pretty cute too. I think there's only one or two that I'm not particularly interested in. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm so sorry, these 2 things came from Japan, and this is so common that like I got it literally, my friend got it literally just in a convenience store. I'm guessing maybe she got this like at the same place while she was at the convenience store or wherever else she had ventured into, because she visited so many places with her boyfriend, and it was her holiday and she didn't have to bring anything, and it was super sweet, and thank you so much, Mickey, and this is like bringing back so much nostalgia, and I'm super happy about this, and it's really sweet of you. And yeah, so let's just open it up and see what we got. Alright, this is going to be very hard to do with one hand, but I kind of can't be bothered to set up my camera again in a different location. But let's get it all vlog style and cash, you know? I got that one! Alright, I'll show you guys, before I show you that, forget that for a second, I'll show you the different options that you could get. So this was, what I really wanted was actually number 1, because that one looks so cute. And they're so much bigger than I kind of imagined for some reason. And that's number 2, 3, which looks like some sort of bundt cake with scrub-a-dub-dubs on the side. Oh, it's cookies! That's some flamboyant cookies. Icing, cookie, and jam. And it comes with a bag and everything. It's so cute. They come with so many accessories. This one was pretty cute too. So they like bake sweets with like tongs and in a basket. The basket part is probably my favorite. This was one of the ones that I wasn't really hoping I'd get, because what is it? Soda jelly set. Yeah, not really fond of that one. Matcha pudding set. That's really cute. The matcha is like the pudding with like almost like duck mouth or something. And then I only just realized what it was with the anko and the cream on the side. If you don't know, anko is the red bean. So this would be the one that I got then. Does that mean I have to actually kind of set it up? Oh, it's an anniversary cake. Just in time for like 100 subscribers. You guys can get me there before I set this up. So I guess you... What was it? You put... You can put some of these little guys. I was wondering why there's so many of them, but some of these little guys can go on top of the cake with the candles. Screaming like a little kid. It's so cute. It's like little cats or little... What's this one? This one looks like it's got that little... This one looks like the anko pudding thing. The matcha pudding one. It looks like a little duck beak thing. Even the lid has a little guy sitting on it. It's so cute. It goes like this, and then I can put it on the table. I guess this can go on the table as one of my video setups then. I probably just want to glue them together in the long-term future because I don't want to lose any of these. No, this one's so hard to get to. And I like blue. Blue's one of my favorite colors. My favorite! It's cool because the candles are blue too. Watching the struggle for the majority of this. Here goes the... I'm gonna put the colorful ones on the top there. Put a green guy here. Of course the blue one and then probably the brown one. Those are the three colored ones. Oh, but this guy's so cute too. That's alright, you guys can do it at the front. So, chocolate one at the back, I guess. That looks good. Oh, this one has like a little, I don't know if you can see a little frill down the back, like it's a little dinosaur guy. That's so cute. Oh, thank you, Mickey. This is so cute. I don't really usually buy these kind of toy stuff anymore because, well, I'm trying to save money. But if I was gonna buy, I would probably buy something like this. She's so thoughtful. You're so smart. You know me so well. And then stick the candle in fairly easily, I hope. Yeah, this might fall off that thing. Oh no, they go like almost like a slightly. They even made like the candle part of it as well, I think. Am I doing this right? Yeah. This one has almost like a slightly bigger hole, but I can't really get it in. Okay. Oh, no! You are so perfect until now! I'm going to take you guys off first. Saws. This one's so hard to get in there for some reason. This would be much easier, I think. Candles might have to go in themselves first. So that one was very interesting. That one had a little bit more of like this large bowl that made it very difficult to insert it into the cavity that they've made. This one just won't go in properly. I don't want to snap it either. So I'll put this one in as well. And then see if I can put in the little guys again. Okay, and we got two last little guys. Oh, this is like a cat with like a little bear thing with like some patterns on the back. They go into so much detail with something even this small. Let's put you over here. And you go over here. And then goes on. Okay, well the dome actually doesn't fit with the two little guys either. Anniversary to me, little guy on the top. Focus. They're so cute.